Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
It's the show that is better viewed as an unintentional comedy. It's the audience of one show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you get your podcast from. I am Andrew, next to the man who is not sure what a relationship is. It's Dick. I live in a complex. Schisler. What's up, buddy?
Word.
Word. All right, go ahead. Get it out of your system. Go ahead.
What's up, guys?
Go ahead. Just say it. I know you want to say it.
How was your week?
Spring break week here in the local area, right? Middle of March.
Well, we're actually pre-recording this episode because I'll be gone. Just check out South by Southwest.
That's right, man.
So I'm going to have a lot of great stories
Very
coming
jealous.
back after this episode. So I'm really excited about that. And, whatever. That's what's going on. Hopefully you can bowl for me.
Yeah, I'm going to see. I'm going to see if I can make
really
up for you while you're out. You're out. So it was funny. When I was on the airplane the other day, I overheard someone say something really funny. And given where we were and what we were doing at the time, I kind of had to make note of it. But apparently this person had gotten up and went to the restroom, as one will do on an airplane, right?
Okay. Do you give the crotch or the butt?
Right. Oh, yes, that's right. It's from Fight Club, right? Yes, I love that. I don't know if they gave a crotch or a butt because I was not in the aisle at the time. Anyways, they came back, and I overheard the person say, they have hot water in the bathroom. Like it was a big deal.
Okay.
And I thought, okay.
Interesting.
And the person said, how did they get hot water in the bathroom? And I thought, wait a minute. You're traveling in a tube, essentially defying the laws of gravity at probably 450, 500 miles an hour, and you're wondering how they get hot water in the bathroom. Kind of amazing, isn't it?
Well, let me ask you this.
But also, I didn't have an answer to that question.
Well,
not that they were asking me.
Because if you go into public areas, I feel like the hot water option works maybe 50% of the time.
Yes. However, in an airplane, it's usually pretty warm.
I have no idea.
But yeah, the hot water, you're right. That is interesting.
Because it's like they always have the two knobs, but like most places that I've gone to, it's like it's just a fake knob. It's like it doesn't really do anything.
Doesn't do anything. Or they don't even have hot water running to the bathroom.
Well, it's a fake knob. It's like, what's going on with this?
Oh, you can just spin it, but
nothing happens.
Yeah, that's actually a really good observation.
Maybe, because I'm full of that stuff. But no, maybe that's what I don't know. I think it'd be funny if someone goes to the restroom on an airplane, comes back, and goes, we're like 10,000 feet in the air, guys. How did we get here?
That would be kind of weird, too.
Maybe they could do the MK Ultra stuff on the airplane, and people lose their mind.
Yes, if you don't know what we're talking about, refer to last week's show.
Yeah, I've seen a stripper pole on an airplane.
Really?
Yeah.
Was this an international flight where that's just considered normal?
I think
it's a cultural thing, guys. It's a cultural
thing. I was with my great uncle. That's not really an uncle, Epstein. And no, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, what an unfortunate last name. No, did you really see a stripper pole, or are you completely making that up?
I've seen it on you can buy it. I never
been for your jet, or you mean
jet? Yeah.
Oh wow. Man, that is a life I am not. I'm not aware of that lifestyle.
Well, see, I was always curious if you had your own jet, what rules do they let you you're not normally allowed to do on normal flights?
Ooh, yeah. If you have your own jet, do you really have to ever wear a seatbelt?
And
Who cares?
You can use your cell phone, or can you get up whenever and walk around? Because I remember seeing movies, and then I forget where it was. There was a movie where they had a bar in the plane,
right?
And I feel a bar is different from a lady or a man with a cart giving you a drink. A bar is you're getting up. It's like international flights. I feel like the double-decker planes used to have this or have it.
I've seen them in movies, too. I've never seen them in real life. I want to see one of those.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, are you allowed to be up and about for that long? I feel like that's a big rule.
And do the bar stools at the bar, do they have seat belts on them? I don't think they do. Is there no air turbulence over the ocean? Is that what we're determining right now?
I have no idea. I think there's a lot of rules that aren't.
We're such idiots.
Well, they're just rules to control people, and you need to control people on a flight, and so it's like
Alcohol is the best way to
well,
do
it's
it.
illusional safety. Another Fight Club reference. So,
We're full of them here.
but no, I mean, I think flying private. I wonder if they just let you do whatever you want. And
Well,
then-
as someone who has flown and flown private several times, I did have to adhere to all the same rules
You
in
did?
terms of
You couldn't use
putting
your
your
phone?
seatbelt. You could use your phone, but
How was the service?
I don't ever remember them saying anything about the phone. Now that you bring it up, but I just mean the seatbelt. They want you to keep your seatbelt.
is the cell
on.
phone thing a rule today? I have no idea.
Yeah, you're not supposed to use your. You put it on airplane mode, right? You're not
That's
supposed
easy.
to use it during
That's easy. Okay.
takeoff and landing. And I thought,
But they have Wi-Fi on planes now.
they do, but they're like their own satellite Wi-Fi. That you're not interfering with the signals.
Can
You're
you
not
use
using
Wi-Fi while on
You're
airplane?
not using data. Yeah, you can. You're not using your own data plan, which apparently can somehow interrupt communication with the tower, which that's kind of scary that my little cell phone could potentially cause some interference with the
No,
tower.
well,
but
what's wild to
whatever.
me about that is that happened like 0.01 chance of happening, and it happened.
Right.
And some stickler over there at the FAA, it's like, hey, if there's a slight chance, we can't let it out.
Just kind of makes me nervous that your cell phone could potentially interrupt aviation. Seems a little sus to me.
I
Sus.
I don't know. It's interesting. The flying rules are hilarious to me because like they're like, oh, wear your seatbelt, but when you're going to the restroom, like there isn't a seatbelt in the restroom. So if they're like,
I looked for one last time I was on the plane.
and I remember that
If something were to go down,
because I understand it's for safety, but it's like, all right, if I'm in here, am I just screwed? Like, am I the first one getting sucked out?
Although you do bring up an interesting point. On the private jet I was on, the bathroom was actually an additional overflow seat. You could go and sit down on the top of the potty, and it had a pad on it and a seatbelt. So that made it from a 10-passenger to an 11-passenger. If you really
wouldn't
wanted
imagine that being your room, your little area. It's like, put the kid we hate in there, the ugly person.
It's awesome.
I think that's great.
Yeah, it is. It is, man.
But
Well-
yeah, warm water on an airplane, cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it was interesting that that's the part that amazes them. Oh, well. Dick, when you were a kid, was there ever a toy that you got or that you saw on television and you were enamored with? Just like, this looks so amazing. But then when you got it, you were highly disappointed with it.
Yeah, you know what? I bet there was, and I don't really recall anything like when you asked that. I'm like, nothing's standing out to me.
Yeah, because they, advertisements are trying to sell a product. That's the whole point of an advertisement. And they do tend to make the items look really interesting. And it's really prevalent in toys, especially seems like when I was a kid in the 1980s. Man, they made He-Man look so awesome, right? He'd walk out of the big
He-Man was so
castle,
cool.
and they put like steam and stuff coming out, and
was so
character,
cool.
even though you could see the kid's hand, moving the character, they always had like vines and water running, like that looks so amazing. And then when you get the toy into your, bedroom, it looks just like a cheap piece of plastic from China, But the one for me that I think was the most disappointing was the Nerf boomerang. Did you ever have a
The
Nerf?
Whistler?
No, it didn't. This one was just the regular old Nerf boomerang. And I remember the commercials being pretty specific because the kids would zing that thing and it would go out like 40 feet and come back and they'd catch it like a baller. And I could never get that thing to actually boomerang. Now, it would turn a little bit. And if I did get it to come all the way back, the chances of me catching it were pretty slim. And so I think the concept was, you can bend it in a certain way to change the shape of it, and that will affect how much it curves or whatever. No matter how much I bent it or what I did, I could never get that thing to come back. Were you ever able to successfully rang a boomerang?
I want to say like one time, but
Yeah.
you
I
have
think
to be,
you would remember it. It's that
but
big of
you
a
have
deal.
to be in a real big space.
Yeah, you do, because it really
Like-
takes a while.
Yeah.
Have you ever thrown one of the ones that's like the real wooden one? Because I
Yeah.
think they're actually technically, can't they be used as weapons?
I guess.
Didn't the Aussie
Maybe.
horseback riders throw those things as? Because the Nerf one I had three, three
Yeah, I'm
little
looking at it
fins.
right now.
Yeah, and the boomerang that I always see the people in, I guess the Outback use. It only has it's just like two. It's just like a bow or whatever. But anyways, I was never.
I really don't
successful.
recall being disappointed as a kid with toys, mainly because I remember like growing up, my mother or my family would never just buy toys. It was always like if you earn a toy, you got to know which one you want. And so I was a big researcher. Like, I'm looking up, like, this is what I want. And you can never go. I was a big Lego kid.
Yeah.
So you can never really go wrong with Legos because the principle is always going to be the same. It's just kind of the theme you wanted to get.
Did the Lego commercials always sort of embellish? I don't think so because Legos were just that awesome. They didn't have to.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the same idea for every single Lego set. So it's like, oh, you want a submarine one? There you go. You want...
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was never really, especially with video games, because video games were so, like, because my parents never bought, like, we had to pay for our own video games. So it was one of those things like, if I'm saving money for, like, 3 months, I got to buy the game that has been rated #1 in the world.
You lived a rough life. You had to buy your own video games? Man.
Yeah. My mother refused. She thought they were a waste of time.
She must be very proud of you now.
Well, she would buy me video games if I gave her money, like to buy like Resident Evil. Like I remember when I was like 12, I got Resident Evil 2. And
yeah, you shouldn't be playing that game.
And I played the first one, so my mom didn't care. She's like, "What's this? Zombies? Okay."
It's a first-person shooter game, Mom. No problem.
No, it's actually that was
rated M for many people can enjoy.
Oh no, I remember. So like in elementary school, we played the first one with my best friend. Like we'd go over. And we that was our camp out nights. We play in the dark, play the original Resident Evil, and then when the second one came out, I remember asking my mom, like, I want to buy this, and she took me, and the guy was like trying to talk her out of it. He's like, "Are you sure you want to buy this for your son?" And I remember going like, "Hey man,
yeah, he knows better."
And I was like, "Hey man, I played the first one. I survived the mansion.
I'm kind of okay.
Like I'm okay with this." And he was like, "Well, this is for mature audiences only, ma'am." And she's like, "Well, what's wrong with it?" And it's like, "Well, it has zombies, and there's blood from the zombies."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Is that it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And the guy's like,
"Zombie blood's not real blood."
Well, I mean, it's not like, I don't know. I go, "Mom, it's survival horror, so you have to conserve
Teaching
ammo."
me a valuable lesson.
It's an inventory management.
That's
game.
right. I was literally going there.
But no, and she bought those. Yeah, and I'll never forget that because I was like, "This guy sucks.
Management.
This guy sucks." And but she's like, he's doing what he wants with his money. So
this is true.
But no,
she's partially to blame.
So part of to answer your question, I don't think I ever purchased a bad toy, really.
Well, that's good.
Because
I'm
I
glad
only
for
had
you.
so many toys.
I just know that, like I said, there was a certain level of disappointment in probably all my toys, with the exception of Legos. But that boomerang, I'm still pissed about it. And again, it could be the fact that I just didn't know how to really use it properly, too.
The only time I ever got upset, I would say with a gift, is someone got me the full screen version of X-Men. And I was just like, full screen? Full screen?
Meaning that when they recorded it from their cell phone, from their pocket, you could see the entire theater screen and not the people's heads in the front? Is that
no.
what you mean by full screen?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes.
I remember being disappointed, like, this sucks.
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of there with you. I actually like the 35 millimeter kind of shape to a movie. The very first time I kind of remember seeing that, I thought, what? That's a waste of screen space, but actually, that's the way the director saw and the way the movie was intended to be viewed, and I tend to like it now. That's right. I'm pretty snooty when it comes to my movie.
That was the only time I was disappointed with the toy, if you consider a movie a toy.
Did you give it back to him? Take this movie.
No, I was kind of like...
How dare you? No one wants full screen.
Yeah.
I wonder if your Apple goggles will have full screen, though, or if they'll be...
I don't know what they'll do.
They'll be 35 millimeter. I know you are really wanting a pair of those.
I do. That'd be great. I would actually. What was the last episode? Oh, it's sleep open. Was it when my eyes are open? I'm sleep intermitting. What is it? You said like my brain goes to sleep.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, something about the micro sleep.
Micro sleep.
Yeah.
I would be like, hey guys, I got micro sleep for a little bit. Just put those puppies on. Talk about time blindness, right?
No kidding. I'm going to complete time blindness.
Well, you ever been in a situation where you're like you're in like a dark room for like 24 hours?
No, I haven't.
So growing up, my grandfather lived in Galveston.
Thank God. Not against my against my will.
And he had those storm shutters.
Yes.
So you could close those puppies, and you have no idea what time it is. Yeah. And it's like the craziest. Like one time, I think I slept like 15 hours, and I woke up and I went back to sleep. Because I thought it was still dark. So, like, I was in there till, like, I think I finally got up at, like, 10 p.m. And my mom was like, what are you doing in there? And I was like, oh, I've been sleeping.
I don't know. It's dark outside. I didn't know. You ever taken a nap in the middle of the day and you wake up and you have no idea what day it is? You're like, wait, is it dark? Is it light?
Yeah, I've been
That's
there.
the weirdest feeling until you kind of figure it out.
I've been there.
Yeah, been there as well. Awesome, man. I have got. You want to? You know what? Let's keep it consistent. Cue the music for the show. Let's get the show started. I came across this really cool story. It's not new. It's from 2004, but from CBS News. It's kind of this cool story, and I don't know if you were aware of this. I had never heard this, but apparently back in 2004, a man put his life savings on the line. Ashley Revel, 32, he's a London man, said he liquidated all of his possessions and took his leap of faith and put $135,000 on red at a roulette table as a whole film crew filmed it and everything
wow.
else. Yeah, he was wearing this rented tuxedo that he had bought or rented just for this specific occasion. And so what do you think? What do you think happened? He put everything
Now,
on.
this is going to sound ignorant.
Yeah.
Roulette is either black or red, right? Like that's the only options you have.
No. There's numbers too. So
I know it has something to do with the ratio. So like if I
Correct.
bet on black, if I win, I get double my money, or get
that's correct.
my money I put down plus.
Whatever, yeah. But I think there's, and I don't play roulette, so I didn't know you were going to ask me the rules. But there are numbers and
So
colors,
he's looking
or
to double
just
his money.
correct.
Okay,
Or
that's
there's just colors. You can just say I want to bet on red number
'Cause there's
14.
a green, right? There's like one green.
Yeah,
Right?
probably so. I think you're right.
Okay, so his bet is to double his money.
Yes.
So did he do it?
At the Plaza Hotel and Casino with everyone watching. He did it. He doubled his money and took home $270,600 in a double or nothing roulette
That's
wheel
awesome.
gamble. Yeah,
Good for
is
him.
that is scary though. That is scary, and I would think that around that time, 2004,
And then he died from a bus accident.
right
That's
after that.
terrible.
I know he gets off. He's like, "This is my lucky day." Boom, and he met Joe Black right there.
Yeah. With 3 different cars.
Oh, that was so wicked, man.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, apparently he sold his house, took everything that he had in equity in his home, every dime that he had, and it's like, this is literally everything I have, $130,000, and he put it on red,
That's cool.
and it landed on red number 7.
I would never do that.
No, I couldn't. I was going to ask you if you could do that. There is no way in heck I could do that, man.
Well, and that's one thing that gambling or people who like to gamble always amaze me is everyone has a little different itch. Meaning like a certain type of game, and they like to play that certain game, the style, and especially like slot machine people. Like slot machines don't make a lot of sense to me, mainly because it's like it's always going to be random. And I know I get the thrill, but it's like, what have you ever done blackjack? Because blackjack people only do blackjack,
Yeah.
and it's very rare. And like I've realized that because I've only gone to the casino probably like once or twice, and I just didn't see a game that was interesting because I like games a lot, I like playing different games. And the roulette one makes the most sense to me if I just want to gamble, like technically
It is
gamble
really, really a
my
shot in the dark. Yeah.
And it's just like, here, go on red.
Well, apparently a lot of casinos won't take a bet that large, especially on the roulette wheel. They have maximums
Okay.
because they don't want to
it
pay
makes
out.
sense.
Well, apparently the owner of the plaza saw that this was, a great publicity stunt and going to put it on TV and said, "We'll take the risk." And of course it hit and they were forced to pay out. But I'm sure in the end it was really good publicity for them, though. But man, that is nuts. And it's
funny.
kind of right after that whole gambling revival in the late 90s where you had Chris Moneymaker winning you have eyes like you don't know who I'm talking about.
I'm sleeping.
He won the, you're right, the micro sleep. It just hit, folks. It just hit. Slow
All right,
blinks.
Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah. Where he won the World Series of Poker in
Oh,
like
okay.
1999 and sort of, I don't know, got a lot of people back into gambling and poker in general.
People do like watching that crap.
I'm not into it.
I told you about that FanDuel channel I discovered.
Yes, you did with the horse racing.
And like it wasn't even just horse racing. Like there's like 6 different styles
Everything.
of horse racing. It was a weird. Like it reminded me like one legit looked like Amish racing. The way their wagons were, like it was like it looked so bizarre to me. And I go, is this how they did it 200 years ago? And for some reason they stuck with this kind of race, or everyone got bored of just the standard horse race, so we have to change it up every other race. But that FanDuel channel is nuts, and props to those guys who are addicted to that, because the guy, whoever the announcer is all over the place. Because I don't know.
He's got to be. It's got to be.
If people don't know what I'm talking about, look up FanDuel TV channel, and they literally broadcast races from around the world at the same time. So it's like you can place your bet on your phone, and it'll tell you, hey, this thing's going to come up in 6 minutes or whatever. And like, oh, we're going to England. Oh, we're going to Australia. Oh, we're over here, over in New York. And it's like every other race. So this race over, we're going over here to Germany.
Yeah.
And
I bet you that guy rips a monster line of Coke right before his shift.
Well, it reminds me of the Red Zone. Have you ever seen the Red Zone?
We're on air. The Red Zone, but that's a little bit different because they will go to live footage.
Well, I mean,
from
at the
local
11 o'clock,
broadcasters.
the 11 o'clock games on Red Zone is nuts because there's like 6 games going on at the 11 o'clock.
Sure, well,
and so,
same with 3, but
Well, no, I'm pretty sure sometimes there's like 6 games because I
think it just
about
about
the time
every time.
difference, the time or whatever. Well, anyway, there could be a potential 4 games of the Red Zone, so this guy's
trying to keep up with all of it. But I think they do throw it to the local broadcasts too at certain times. He's not trying to do like the FanDuel thing, but whatever. But it says Revel received a bottle of champagne and a suite from the hotel room, so he's winning at life. He's winning at life. But again, I couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it. So, Dick, I also came across this interesting story. Have you ever wondered what insects and their bite or sting are the worst in the world, and how
isn't there like an ant?
How we might determine that? There is.
Like I remember seeing one of those travel channels where like this tribe, as a rite of passage, you have to put your hand in this basket
and just let them go.
Or like this basket formed like a hand, and they let them bite you.
Was that an Indiana Jones scene too?
No, I don't know where I
snake.
saw it, but it looked intense. And like it's not even just, it's not the sting that hurts you. It's something where like how long it lasts. It lasts like 12 hours.
Oh
just
my
the
God,
pain.
it sounds
and
horrible.
it doesn't go. It doesn't like. It doesn't. What's the word?
Dissipate.
Yeah, dissipate.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds horrible.
So it's just.
It's like an LSD trip.
Why? I mean.
Well, this is what
I love about that is think about this tribe, right? And they're like this unfortunate soul who stepped on the ant pile and it like hurt all day, and he's like, "Oh, I can't go hunting.
This is how we're going to initiate people."
And then somehow that turned into like the typical jock kind of like, "Hey, let's throw this on this guy." And then after a while, like, this really hurts. This is something that's special because nothing else bites you like that. So it has to be that. That has to be like the worst. Mm-hmm. Is it?
I would imagine.
What's you get the sting?
No, I do. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. But apparently, this man's name is a scientist, Dr. Justin Schmidt, who came up with the Schmidt Sting Index. And unfortunately, he has since passed. But he was called the King of Sting. And in 1983, started carrying out research from his home and also from the Carl Hayden Bee Research Center in Arizona, where he would let a variety of insects bite them so that he could get a relative pain point for their venom and their intensity. Because I guess we would never know unless a human was bit by them. So it's pretty crazy, but his sacrificial research meant that they were able to give a record for the most painful insect sting to the bullet ant, which measured a 4.0 plus on his Schmidt Sting Pain Index scale. And he thought about doing like a 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, but that's just too granular. So he decided to go with just 4 categories, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But apparently the bullet ant scores a 4.0
I think
plus.
that's what it is.
Oh, man, that is nasty. And they show these pictures of this guy. I don't know if you want to show to the onesies who might be on YouTube or Facebook that he just lets these bugs just crawl all over him. What I think is interesting, though, one of the notes that he says in here, though, is that he would let the bug sting them, but if they wouldn't, he would try and prompt them to sting. And he said the bugs that were prompted to sting, usually their sting was not as aggressive or as painful as if they did it naturally, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
It said the rare occasion, here it is. It said on the rare occasions he had to provoke a sting, he found that the insects less willing to sting didn't hurt as much. That's kind of crazy. But man, yeah, he's got this stuff crawling on his face.
So I don't know if you read
hey, the world needs guys like that, though.
The different species that are level 4. There's a tarantula hawk that is it says this is what scares me, so I never knew this existed. A spider wasp.
Sounds amazing and scary. Sounds like something out of my nightmares.
Yeah.
Spider wasp?
It's a spider. What's classified as a spider.
You got a picture of it?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay, is that on the... What is that rank on the Schmidt
4.
Sting Index? That's also
4.
up there to 4?
Yeah.
But the bullet ant was 4 plus.
So
Oh man, that thing looks.
It just looks like a normal,
Look at the ass on that thing.
Yeah, it's just. Oh,
Well, no wonder he's got a big sting or a painful
so
sting.
there you go.
He's
Look
got
at
a
that.
bulbous butt.
Oh, these websites are terrible.
Hey, I didn't send you that one.
But what I
Can't
love
blame
though,
me.
is the way the Schmidt describes each one of these. So, of course, the bullet ant is described as pure, intense, brilliant pain,
Yes,
like
brilliant.
walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail embedded in your heel. So that's the bullet ant. So the tarantula ant or hawk is blinding, fierce, and shockingly electric. As the duration of the pain of the sting is short-lived, lasting approximately 5 minutes. So there's a short one.
Yeah, so just it's intense but short.
And then they have the warrior wasp, which feels it's pure torture. You are chained.
How is that not a 4?
You are chained to the flow of an active volcano.
All right. Very descriptive, this
Up to
Schmidt
2
was.
hours.
Wow. But that's lower because it wasn't quite as intense as the 5-minute one. So I got to ask you, you going to do the longer, lower intensity, or would you rather do the sharp one for
Shoot,
shorter?
I don't know, man. Neither. I mean, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do the bullet ant
Just go for it.
and just do the hand thing and be like, I was a man once.
One time.
Yeah, and I definitely wouldn't use the bathroom beforehand, so I'll just start just going.
What?
That's what you do when you're like,
Oh, you go on it?
yeah, you just.
I think that's for jellyfish.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm trying to. Where's the milk? Where's the milk?
And that's for spicy food. You're drinking milk and peeing on yourself.
Nothing's working.
Nothing's working.
Just chop it off. Just chop it off. All right, cool. I mean, I love how people. I like how he did it. There's a little cool video.
Yeah, man. I mean, kudos to that guy. Otherwise, we would never know, right? And I guess, again, somebody had to do it. And he classified
Can
them
you
for
buy
us.
bullet
Thank you.
ants?
Oh, God, I hope not. I hope not. Dick, I heard someone speaking the other day to their child in a language that was not English. And I thought to myself, man, this language that he is speaking, it sounds harsh. It sounds rough. Like the child may have been doing something that he wasn't supposed to do. However, I think he was just telling the child to go home and get ready for dinner or something.
Okay.
But then it got me wondering, like, some languages really do just sound violent, and ugly.
Yeah.
And so I decided to do a little research, as one might do when they have a radio show about things like this, what some of the most ugly or harsh sounding languages are in the world. So, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to spoil what language this person may have been speaking just yet, but from universaltranslationservices.com, the top 4 ugliest languages in the world. Number 1, Vietnamese. It's the native tongue of the people from Vietnam. Duh. And it says, how does it sound to the foreign ear? Most people say that it sounds like a duck being, quote, brutalized. They find that its tone is annoying and whining. However, they consider it very unattractive. And I looked up some people speaking Vietnamese, and I don't know that I completely agree with that one. It did sound, to my dumb Western American ears, just like kind of all those Mandarin-type Chinese accent sound. I didn't find anything all that ugly about it particularly.
I mean,
But that one ranks number 1. Number 2, they say, is Mandarin. All right. According to people, it says it sounds like full of piss and vinegar. All right. I'm not even really sure what that means.
so this whole list is stupid.
No, there's only
Weird.
4 of them here. The next one is German. Now, that happened to be the language that I heard this man speaking. And
Yeah.
I think German was, if you had asked me this question, that's what I would have said. German, to me, it's very rough and guttural from the back of your throat. It does not sound all that attractive to me. It says it sounds interruptive, loud, dominant, and angry to most people, which is exactly what I thought. I was like, man, what did that kid do?
Yeah.
And then the other one here is Turkish, the native lingo to Turkey. Turkey's not just an animal, it's also a country, Dick. Don't know if you were aware of that.
Oh, I thought it was a bowling term.
That too, it is. It is a monotonic sound, hence people think and consider it annoying and non-melodic. All right, whatever. What would you say the prettiest language is, though, Dick?
I don't know.
I think most people consider like Italian and French and Spanish. Aren't those considered the love languages? The languages of love.
Sure.
It's probably the most pretty.
Well, because I
languages.
guess the way I would try to set a parameter to judging is singing.
Right.
So, like German singing is never really beautiful. I don't think
I don't know that I've ever heard
I don't think there's
A
anyone.
German sing.
But there's certain, like Spanish love songs for sure.
Right?
Absolutely. I don't know about French. French still has that weird structure to it, where there's interrupts. But I feel like Spanish just flows.
Yeah. I like Spanish. I think
I would go with Spanish probably being the prettiest.
You're not gonna get a disagreement from me on that. I think it's up there, especially if it's spoken properly. I mean, anything could probably sound ugly if you're, yelling curse words at somebody or you're mad. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's a bit more if it's known. Like, what's popular? I've never heard of a popular German song that is considered beautiful.
Well, that's we're on 106.1 and 104.5, but at 106.3, isn't that the popular German station here in town?
No idea. That's cool though.
Yeah, it is. Staying on this theme of language, we are moving towards non-binary and non-gender specific language every day. And I know you're a very progressive man, so I know that you agree with that.
What did I see or hear the other day? Man, I wanted to write it down. The way they described the situation.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't say it was. They definitely did a neutral word.
Yeah. So I've got a list here of
what
some
was it?
gender-neutral terms that I think is really, really funny. Some of them are just dumb, but I think some of them are worth a mention. So the gender term of aunt or uncle. Do you know what the non-gender neutral or gender-neutral term
No.
for aunt or uncle is? Fibbling.
Fib?
No, I'm sorry, pibbling. Sorry, pibbling.
That makes no sense.
Stands for parent's sibling.
Because cousin isn't gendered.
I guess not, but aunt or uncle is. Cousin, it can be
Yeah.
male or female, so it's not gender specific. But pibbling stands for parent sibling. I love that.
This is my pibbling.
It's my pibbling. Instead of fiancé, you say betrothed. Yes, this is my betrothed. How lame is that?
I mean,
How about-
actually that sounds more endearing.
You think? This is my betrothed.
Yeah, like the one I'm promised to.
Oh, I guess in a way.
Yeah.
Well, it's gender neutral. Anyone can be betrothed to one another. Niece or nephew. So here you go. This one is gender specific. You ready for this?
Crumbling.
Nibbling, chibbling, or skibbed.
Skibbed. I like skibbed. That sounds like something you brush off your foot.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I like it.
Son or daughter is not a son or daughter. It's a child or progeny.
Offspring.
Offspring, yeah. Thought that was pretty funny. I did hear the gender-neutral word for a waiter or waitress is waitron.
I thought it was server.
No, well, it could be that too, I suppose, but
Yeah.
waitron, I love that. It's hilarious. Sounds like a robot.
It's funny.
All right, I think that's about a good time to take a break, I think. I didn't check the time, to be honest with you. When we come back, we're going to talk about pants.
Pants.
Pants. Stick around.
Do you wear them?
Only sometimes.
Okay, I know we're on a break, but
We were on a break.
I know we're on a break, but I'm getting tired of all these articles Andrew keeps sending me.
They're great, and you know it.
It's all trash.
Kind of the point.
But it got me thinking, Andrew. Mm-hmm. You, the listener, can submit articles
Oh, yeah.
and ideas and topics.
Yeah, they can.
Audience of One Show at gmail.com.
That's correct.
Or Facebook. Look up Audience of One Show with Andrew and Dick.
Otherwise, you're subject to stories about kids sleeping outside that apparently Dick cannot stand.
No. I'm tired of this fake news, and I know the cancer that is growing within Audience of One is Andrew and his terrible articles. So we need stories.
Come on, man.
We need
It's not that bad.
We need stories. So send us your ideas at audienceofoneshow at gmail.com and Facebook, Audience of One with Andrew and Dick.
That's us.
All right. So we look forward to hearing from you guys, and hopefully we have better topics on the next episode.
And if we don't and they're still terrible, I suppose it's my fault.
Yes. All right, Audience of One here on Lone Star Community Radio every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. on podcasts, YouTube, Lone Star Community Radio, or just look up Audience of One Show, wherever you want to look us up at. But primarily podcasts, and then, of course, Lone Star Community Radio, irlonestar.com/ALL. You can donate or sponsor today. Let us know. Just reach out. All the contact information is right there. So we're going to knock out this last segment.
Absolutely. You know, when I tell people they don't have to listen to this show, that's fine if they choose not to. They're just choosing to have less joy in their life if they do so. If I do say so myself. That's fine.
Yeah.
Choose less joy.
So far, no suicides.
Today?
Listening to this show.
None reported. None reported. How many other shows can boast that kind of record?
Yeah.
I don't think very many, Dick.
Yeah.
I don't think very many. AOO, the show that doesn't kill people.
That's it. I mean, we got to start somewhere. I mean, there's standards.
Setting the bar
there's
low,
standards where we set. And like I was talking to a buddy yesterday about the show, and he's like, "Why are you doing that show?" And I was like, "I don't know if I want to do something."
Because it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, I was like, and he's like, "Well, what do y'all do? Y'all just?" I'm like, "We just shoot the stuff, you know."
That's when you tell them, "Listen, I can't explain it."
I go, Andrew
Listen.
finds the most boring articles ever, and I try to make them entertaining for the audience.
That was actually going to be the name of the show,
Yeah.
but it's too long, so we shortened it to Audience of One. Andrew finds boring articles. Dick tries to make something
fun
out
of it.
Yeah.
And what I love is I still have the talent to make you upset about what I say. Because if people didn't realize, I said something at the beginning of the show, and we had to restart.
Yep.
He
sure
was
did.
so upset with me.
I was.
And I go, "You don't want to open that way?"
No, we're not going to open that way.
I love
I
it.
did. I was like,
I threw a curveball.
You did. But you know what's funny is that is the first time I think we've had to do that, actually.
Well, that's because of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you literally got up
because
and took your headphones off.
I did. That's to let you know
And
I was
like,
not joking.
He was not liking
I
that.
was not joking. I was like, no, we're not starting like that.
And I didn't stop.
No.
So, I mean, there is no stop when listening to Audience of One.
Eventually,
You're the one that puts restrictions on yourself.
I just want to go fast.
I want to treat the onesies like how I think they need to be treated.
Yes, I if there's nothing else I've learned about you, that's it.
Yeah, they should have their cake and eat it too.
That's true. That's true.
There's that. And
look, I'm a professional broadcaster, okay? And say what you will. That I have to bring a certain level of professionalism to this.
I like how I just put a dip in. That's how professional I am at this broadcasting. That tells you how I feel about it. Ugh. Put my feet on the table. Let's just hang out and talk about doing stupid stuff.
That's the Audience of One show, baby. That's the
Yeah.
brilliance of it all. That's what you need to tell your friend. Okay, you want to know about the show? I dip while doing the show. That's all you need to know.
No, you know, I was thinking on the last week's episode about Wendy's surge pricing, and I was thinking about I don't think I've been in several scenarios where I go, "Oh, it's a lot more expensive. I'm not going to get that." Mm-hmm. And so what I was thinking to myself is, you've been waiting in this line, and the prices have changed. Mm-hmm. And it's like I just wasted 20 minutes staying in line.
Waiting for the prices to go down?
Now I don't want this. And
are we ever going to get to the point where fast food just says market? And you have to ask them.
2 chickens.
Yes, today, what is the price of the double cheeseburger today? They have to look it up.
And market price.
Market price.
Yeah, I love those restaurants that have that.
I went to one of those just last week.
I went to one that...
I didn't order anything that had a market next to it.
Well, that's what I love about crawfish. Now crawfish is like, it's market price. And it's
and it ain't cheap these days. What the heck?
Well, you know what's funny is now my perception of what is cheap crawfish is if they include the extras in the price.
Sure, you don't have to pay extra for your potatoes and stuff.
Because I always feel like that's you're nickel and diming me.
Yeah, that's part of it. That should be part of it.
If you're nickel and diming when you're charging me $1.50 for a potato.
Yeah.
So it's like, just include it in the price. Instead of it being $9, just say it's $10. And I get, at least a potato and a thing of corn.
It's all about marketing, though.
Well, I just feel like that's how you should price it.
I agree. That's how we price this show.
Because it's not like you're saving so much more money by not getting those things.
It's true. But hey, it's tough to make a buck out there. But that's how we price this show. Everything is included.
How much do you think they paid those prostitutes? Do you think they got double dipped?
Are you talking about on the Operation Climax?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, it was probably pretty. It's government money, man.
Well,
it's got to be
MK
pretty
Ultra,
good.
right? So it's that operation, whatever. So that we understand that the prostitute got contacted by the government, and it's like, hey, we need you to slip them LSD. But see, if I'm the guy, the mark or whatever you want to call it, I don't know she's already paid for.
Yeah.
So she's getting paid twice.
Do you think the prostitute gets really self-righteous and goes, I am just a prostitute. I am not a drug dealer.
No, see, this is where it gets interesting.
But if
So
I
was
will
the
be for extra
government-
money,
well,
give me
do you
more
think
money.
the government pulled the pimp thing and it's like, hey, you better give us that money that guy gave you? We've already paid you for your services, so you got to give us that cash he gave you.
Oh.
Or do you think they
You're
said,
on the payroll now.
or do you think they said, hey, make sure to file your taxes correctly? The IRS has been told that you made,
Right.
you made that cash. You made that cash.
Make sure you report all that. Count it out like a waiter at the end of the night while they're watching. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's just those, again, fly on the wall scenarios. I would love to be hearing that conversation, trying to convince these prostitutes.
Can you pay a prostitute in change?
Yeah, I feel like it depends on what the prostitute doesn't care about. Like, yeah, sure.
I mean, like quarters. Can you give them quarters? Just wondering.
Sure. I don't see, again, they can tell you no matter what kind of money you give them.
I guess so. But at that point, it's not prostitution. You're not paying them.
I know, but like they can just say no. Like, hey, I just want to give you $5,000. Oh, no, I just said no. So,
Okay. Well, it's a good thing I don't have to worry about that.
Well, I mean, ask a British prostitute because don't they usually use actual coins?
Yeah, they
feel
do. They do use a lot more coins in
yeah.
other parts of the world.
So
I guess they have to carry a big
why don't we
purse.
ask one of them.
Or find another place to put it.
Yeah.
So, Dick, as promised, pant talk. This is our AOO pants talk. Yes, I know, not the jeans, but have you? I know we've been talking a lot about jeans lately, but have you
It's a big
ever
deal to me.
worn? Have you ever worn the what some people refer to as like action pants? And these are the pants that are kind of stretchy, polyester type material. They're kind of what golfers wear.
No.
I recently have tried these out, and I'm here to give you a full report on these.
Well, they had those on jeans. It said flex.
Yes.
And I was like, so what's the difference between jeans and flex
Yes,
jeans?
actually, my jeans are flex jeans.
So does that just
love
mean
it.
it's not 100% denim or whatever? It's
Yeah,
like,
it's got some cotton stretchy in it, and
Yeah.
it's I'm in fact I'm at that point in my life where all my clothes needs to be stretchy. I'm just going to throw that out there. And once you go, hey, I'm here to report. Once you go stretchy, you don't go back.
yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I wore jeans that didn't stretch. In fact, I will go put on an old pair of jeans that don't have the elastic in them. How did I ever do it? How did I
mean,
ever
don't-
do it?
I'm wearing MW3Zs or whatever. Like the,
What?
it's like the
Is that the-
original
oh, yeah?
Wranglers. So it's like
From, like,
it's just
1943?
tight. It's just tight. This is what it is.
Well, these action pants, they're like mostly polyester or whatever, but they're really, really extremely comfortable. And I have recently purchased a couple of pair of these. And
Is there like a specific brand that you're trying to promote here that I didn't know about?
No,
or-
no specific
So when
brands.
I go to the store, I say I need some action pants.
That's right.
It sounds kind of
So you're-
silly.
So that when you're blowing past the old people in the aisle at the grocery store, you can be very agile and don't have to worry about your jeans slowing you down. I'm here to report, though, that they are extremely comfortable. Okay, I will give you that. They're more breathable. In fact, they're so lightweight sometimes you forget you're wearing pants altogether, which may or may not be a good thing. But the one problem I have with them is they don't have the same ability to hold items in the pockets like jeans do. Something about that thicker material, you can put your phone in there, you can put
Yeah.
your wallet, you can put your dip can. If you get too much stuff in the action pants, you start to get like pant sag and like pocket bulge.
Yeah.
And it
What,
does
you not wear a
work.
belt?
Yeah, I got to wear a belt, but even then it just starts pulling down really easily for whatever reason.
So it's like wearing gym shorts.
It's kind of like, yeah, exactly. It's very similar. It's like full-length gym shorts. Or like if you've ever worn sweatpants and put something in your sweatpants, all of a sudden it's kind of like pulling your sweatpants down, and no one wants that happening.
You're talking to one of the most fashionable person you'll ever meet.
Well, this
right
has
now.
nothing to do with fashion. This is
sounds
function.
like- it sounds
this
like
is
fashion.
This is function, man.
Well, it sounds like it's
This
just it's just workout pants, but made to look like office wear.
Basically, actually, I do wear them too.
That's what I'm saying. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, but you can wear them anytime.
I'm gonna call your boss and be like, he's wearing gym shorts or gym pants.
Those are just long gym shorts,
Yeah.
dude. Don't let him
Feel
get.
'em.
Don't let him
No.
get away with this. Don't
And
let
I'll
him
be
get away
like,
with
Clark, just feel them. Like, go up to him and feel. I'm telling you the truth. So he'll come up to you and be like, "Hey, Andrew, how's it? Oh, this really. What is? Are these appropriate for the office? What happens if you get like a little pee on it? Like, does it dry up a little?
this. That is also the brilliant part of it. They are moisture wicking. So when you got
So
a
it
little
just goes-
dribble there, it just
Yeah.
disappears.
What do they
huh?
call that?
Is
The
that something you have to worry about?
Well, no, I forgot. There's some kind of like Urban Dictionary term for the little pee that comes out sometimes. and I forgot what it was, like
Shake a
a
Bear?
P-bib or something like that.
Shake a Bear, something?
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe you made me say that on the air twice.
I got you.
I went back and looked that
I
up.
told you,
Onesies, please
I'm
do
full
not.
of all random information.
Luckily, I didn't see the video because it's probably illegal. My God, dude. Unbelievable. I just saw it described and went, really? We said that on my show?
That was the
Oh my
LimeWire
God.
Napster days where you...
Holy,
you have
yeah,
your-
anything went.
Well, no, you see like the most downloaded one. You're like, what's that? And you download it.
Yeah, you download, and then you've seen it, and your life is never the same. Is that really where it came from?
No,
Back at
I
that
remember
time?
seeing that. I wonder what kind of whiskey that was. Because they were drinking like plastic whiskey. And
Oh, man. I don't know. Well, anyways, Action Pants, good in one way, bad for pocket bulge and pant sag. So, Dick, we had the leap day a couple of weeks ago. This is a leap year.
cool.
Yeah. No, nothing about it. Did you even know? Were you having a micro sleep during that micro or that leap day of February 29th?
I know leap days exist, but I never, because I did see a bunch of posts about like this guy's 6 years old.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Is because he's born on a leap day, and that only happens like every 4 years.
Every 4 years. And do you
And-
know why we have leap day, by the way?
Dude,
because
I don't even know why we have daylight savings
I
time.
know
So
you're
it's
not-
like I don't care.
I know you're not a guy to pay attention to details, but it actually does not take the Earth 365 days to rotate around the sun.
See-
It takes 365.25. And
See, I
so
get that. I
if we
get-
didn't add an extra day, we would have Christmas in May after, 50
so many
years or
years.
something. Yeah.
So like the thing I'm more concerned about is like so my watch is an old school watch, and it's telling me it's the 30th today.
Yeah. See,
So and I'm like, so what's the point of this thing?
you're way off.
And like I don't know how to adjust it.
So it should be the little thing on the side, the stem on the side. If you don't pull it all the way out to adjust the time, there should be a midway point, and that should adjust the date.
I'm gonna do that while we're talking.
Yeah, so anyways, it got me wondering about other calendars because of all of this talk about leap year. And have you heard of this thing called the 13-month calendar? The calendar we're on today is the Gregorian calendar. But many ancient civilizations relied on lunar calendars to track time, back in the day. These calendars were based on the cycles of the moon, which average approximately 29.5 days. As a result, lunar calendars naturally align with a 13-month system, with each month consisting of approximately 28 days. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it says the concept of a 13-month calendar can be tracked back to various historical civilizations. The Egyptians, for example, used a 13-month calendar known as the lunar calendar of Thebes. Similarly, the
I like
Mayans
it.
developed a sophisticated calendar that included 13 months, each with 28 days, known as the Tolkien calendar, or Tzolk'in. TZ is the Z silent.
So
I don't
what
know.
I love about this idea is like today with technology we can pretty much figure things out very fast.
Can you imagine trying to
So-
figure this out back in the
And
day?
like, why is Christmas in May?
Uh-huh. Actually, I think it was kind of something like that.
Yeah.
They didn't account for that, and it's like, wait a minute. Why is it now cold when it should be
And
warm?
then so they have like the war room, right? So everyone's talking about we have to figure this out. We got to figure
I think
this
it
out.
wasn't it like Caesar or somebody who just basically said, you know what, we're going to add a day right now. We're going to add a day
No, I
every
don't think
year.
he's that
We're gonna-"
smart.
I don't know.
I think one guy was really smart and goes, "We just need to start over." And everyone's like, "What do you mean start over?" I was like, "Well, clearly we're off by something. Something's off. We're just going to start this whole thing over. We're going
Mm-hmm.
to we're going to go from the ground up."
Somebody had to eventually.
And so we did.
At some
and
point.
now we're here. And I
Started from the bottom,
I
now we're
can't-
here.
I can't figure this out.
I'll do it for you after the show. It says the current Gregorian calendar involves complex calculations to account for irregular month lengths and leap years. But in contrast, the 13-month calendar would simplify these calculations. See, keep it simple. I thought you would be all in favor for as simple and as consistent as possible because, details. You can't even adjust your watch right now. I figured you'd really be into this.
Well, no, I always go with the flow on this one. If anyone tells me what to do with that kind of stuff, I'm like, sure, because everyone else is on that same page.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I bet there's some groups out there that don't even recognize the leap year day. They're like, no, that's not a real day.
I don't identify with that. It's probably true. Oh, so if you were born on
'Cause
February 29th, would you want your birthday to be recognized as the 28th or March 1st?
Do you have a choice?
I think, when would you celebrate it most years
The
that aren't leap
29th.
years? No, because the 29th is only 4 years. So would you be celebrating your birthday on non-leap years on the 28th or the 1st?
To be honest, it's just I just celebrated St. Patrick's Day.
Just screw the whole thing.
It's like if we're
If I'm going to pick a day, and let's go
Yeah.
pick a really cool day like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess that is kind of, you have a point.
I'm not really. I don't.
I think I would go with the 28th only because it's the same month.
Yeah.
And it just sounds right. But, I don't have to worry about that.
Well, I also. Yeah, who cares? Like, have fun with your birthday. Just celebrate it.
Like that St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I mean, are you telling me to choose a day that's not the day I was born? I think what would be hilarious is like that's the only day you celebrate your birthday is on the leap year, so it's always like a big party.
Oh, I think it is, actually. I think there are societies that have, collections
Yeah.
of people born on that day, and they all come together and
That's
have
cool.
a big bash. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Anyways, I think there was a time in which the DMV required you actually
To choose?
to choose either the 28th or the 1st because the software didn't recognize it. I think we've
Isn't that
now,
great?
now we've
Isn't that
actually
great?
moved on to where the software is advanced to a point where we can actually do it.
You're not allowed to get on this airplane, sir.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Because you're a leap year baby.
You don't exist in the system. Right.
That'd be pretty tight.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool. It's like not having fingerprints.
So I'm gonna call my mother after this and be like, "Why didn't you give birth on the leap year day?"
It's like because you were born in May, so
you said I was special.
It's
and those
how
people
premature would
sound-
you like to have been?
Yeah, really, really premature.
Okay, Dick, I'm not going to quiz you on this. Well, maybe I will. This will be more fun. You know what? Just to piss you off because I know how much you hate quizzes. How familiar
Hey.
are you with the different alert systems here in the state of Texas? The colored alert systems. They all have different meanings. I'll give you an example. The Amber Alert, which is obviously the
Child one.
most common, right? So Amber
Silver is for the
is
old people.
actually not, it is a color, but it was actually, I think, named after the girl Amber back in the day. But the rest of them are indeed colors. And you're right, Silver Alert. Silver Alerts notify the public of missing older adults. We're going to have to put one of those out for you before too long. What is a Blue Alert? Are you familiar with a Blue
cop.
Alert? Very good. Blue alerts are designed to help with the capture of violent criminals who killed or seriously wounded local, state, or federal law enforcement officers. So it's not actually for the law enforcement. It's if somebody has done some harm to a law enforcement, they say this is a blue alert.
That means they're really killing
They're
people.
really, they're not just killing regular people. They're killing law enforcement.
Well, I can see that being important information because you have to have something that is easy to understand how severe the situation is. Because usually, if people who get murdered, from what I understand, it's usually like someone you know or something like that. Like it's like an actual like what do they call it? Homicide.
Yeah, okay.
But if someone kills a police officer, that means they're on the run.
Yeah,
and they probably
yeah.
would kill anybody
Anything.
because they're
Yeah.
on the run and.
Yeah, it's not like it's a crime of passion where they maybe got into an argument with somebody and killed somebody because they didn't like the way that their Pumas looked or something. This is a guy who's out there just with complete disregard for public safety. So that's a blue alert. I don't know that I've ever heard a blue alert. How about a camo alert?
Is that an army thing? Like a military thing?
Pretty good, yes. The camo alert is designed to notify the public of a missing or current former member of the United States Armed Forces who is struggling with mental illness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
sad.
or someone who can disappear without a trace. How about a clear alert? I have a problem with this one because clear is not a color.
Well, camo's not really a color, is it?
Yeah, I guess you're right if you want to get down to it. Camo is a combination of colors. And
Yeah.
actually, camo is a generic term. There's all kinds of different camo.
Yeah.
There's the desert kind of camo. That always looked pretty dope. Yeah.
I think that's why they went to war over there. in
Just
the desert,
so
they,
they can
like,
wear those.
We have all this camo we
Well, yeah,
made.
we got to have an excuse to put this cool gear
Yeah.
on.
No, Clear Alert, I have no idea.
Yeah, this is the state's coordinated law enforcement adult rescue alert program. Good God. Designed to assist law enforcement in locating and rescuing missing, kidnapped, or abducted adults, or adults who are in immediate danger of injury or death.
I like it.
Yeah, clear alert. Interesting. I don't know if you passed or failed, Dick, but that's all of the colors that we have.
That's fine with me. I only get amber for some reason.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even get those. I have that. I guess I disabled it. I don't know. I don't ever get any of those. I used to. but
I
don't get them
got
anymore.
I got a lot this week.
Did you? Man, there's been a lot of missing children and people alerts I've seen, or not alerts on my phone, but I've seen them on social media. People reposting. Yikes! Staying on this theme of color, Dick, do you like the color of your eyes?
Of course.
Do you? Of course you. I've asked you about your face. Who would you swap faces with? You said a younger version of yourself once. I love that. It's so great.
I feel pretty happy with myself.
What color? I'm glad. That's healthy. What color are your eyes, by the way?
I want to say they're blue.
I think they're bluish.
Yeah, they're more blue than other colors. But
Right. I as well have blue eyes, and I wonder how rare that is to have two people here both with blue eyes, because I think blue eyes are kind of a minority,
yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah, I was told that from a girl I dated, and that's what she really liked about me. And I was like, oh, so you're selecting me for something, aren't you? Well, let's skip to that process. Farm to table, as they say.
I'm in.
Well, no, actually, I remember this conversation with this person because I thought it was because everyone has these fantasies about having a family and everything, and then when they do those sci-fi movies where you actually genetically get to pick what you want your kid to look like.
Right, looks nothing like you.
And well, I mean, like people prefer, like, oh, I want them to be 6 foot, that kind of thing.
Sure, yeah.
But today you can kind of do it by like, oh, I like someone with green eyes. Mm-hmm. And like to be honest with you, this is how terrible I am. My ex, don't know what their eye color is.
Again, a detail. You can't bother yourself with the detail. Do you know that the colored part of the eye is called the iris? And it can be brown, black, green, blue, hazel, or a mixture of all of those colors.
Oh, I remember her eye color. It's black.
Like the devil.
Like the devil. No.
Oh, that would be more like red, I guess.
No, because like there were certain things about I get in trouble. I don't remember those things, and it's never something I always think about because she knew, like this particular person knew me because she liked the color blue. Mm-hmm. So she always said like your eyes are so blue today, and I'm like,
yeah, it's just the way I woke up this way. #no filter.
Yeah, but me, I would never comment on her eyes. I comment on other stuff.
Right. Things that are more important.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting, kind of going on.
Like her smile.
Right. That's exactly her smile.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what I like in
the way she blows her nose.
I like good smiles.
Yeah, smile is important.
And like that's probably up there, really high up there for me.
Yeah, but you don't know what color her eyes were.
Well, no, I just never. Why would I want to look her in the eye? Like if you're looking her in the eye, I'm in trouble. I'm like, I can't look in too far. I can't look. Okay.
I was going to make a non-radio appropriate comment. Darn it. Anyways, this is kind of going off what you were talking about a minute ago. A combination of the parents' genes actually determines the color of the iris. Because of the many possible combinations, the color of the eye of a child may not match either of the parents, making it nearly impossible to predict. What? So if this one girl liked your blue eyes, hoping that maybe you would sire a child that also had blue eyes, the chances are pretty slim.
Even if we're both blue-eyed.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of a random chance, which is kind of weird if you ask me.
Kind of like being born on February 29th?
Very random. Did you know that eye color can change over time, but only very slightly? And usually the color of eyes that you're born with are the eyes you're going to have the rest of your life. And that's typically when eye color changes in that first couple of weeks of life, actually.
Yeah, because from what I understand, like Caucasians have blue eyes when they're born.
I mean, again, we just got through saying it doesn't really change very much. It changes slightly.
No, I'm talking about in the first week or two. It's like it has a light color to it.
Well, it says the color of most babies' eyes will darken within the first years of life. So maybe they might have more of a bluer tint, I suppose. But I don't think you're going to have somebody blue change to green.
My eyes didn't give up.
They stayed strong.
They stayed strong.
So did mine.
Yeah.
That's right. Blue eyes.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, see, I always thought that was kind of funny. Speaking of blue eyes, is with the Nazis.
Continue. And now Nazi talk with Dick.
Because people like they obsess about this kind of stuff.
They kind of do.
And I always thought it was funny that everyone kind of agreed with this idea from Hitler that blonde hair, blue eyes is the way to go.
Everyone agreed with that.
But everyone in the room is like, well, I don't have that, and my kids don't have that. So when we reach our goal, what's going to happen to us? See, I'm surprised no one really asked that.
Somebody needs to take this guy out now.
Yeah.
Quick. Well, did you know that it is also possible to surgically change the colors
I don't
of your
doubt it.
eyes.
I
Yeah,
don't
and in
doubt
some parts of the world,
I'm
iris
surprised that's not more popular.
iris implant surgery is available in certain parts of the world, but it is extremely dangerous and risky, and I don't think that practice is
that's
really
probably why-
done
that-
here
that's probably why
in
a lot
the
of people don't
United
do it.
States. Yeah. Many risks associated with the surgery,
Speaking of-
eye inflammation,
how are-
swelling of the cornea, etc.
How are those calf implants doing?
Pretty good, man. I haven't
Yeah.
had any ill effects. I can jump higher too.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I can't. It just gives the illusion that I can.
Yeah.
So when people ask me, like, man, can you jump really high? I'm like, well, look at my calves, duh. And then I
There.
don't actually have to jump. I just tell them to look at my calves. I'm so glad I did it. So glad I did it.
But no, people obsess over this genetic stuff, and that's funny to me. That like that was like the one thing someone likes about me. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Because if your smile, I don't really care how bad your teeth are. Just have a good smile.
Yeah, I suppose. The teeth are part of the smile. Can you separate teeth from smile? I don't think so. I think they're one and the same.
No, because to me, it's like when you see someone smile, it's almost like when you see someone yawning, you yawn too.
Yeah.
So if you have a good smile, people will smile back at you.
I
like
suppose.
with the same type of level of smile. And some
Yeah.
people just don't smile. There's like,
Yeah, I've met those people too.
yeah, and those people suck.
I like people who smile. Okay.
Me too.
Yeah,
Get out there and smile, folks.
that's right. Smile more, onesies. Dick, have you ever seen the beer cups that fill from the bottom of the cup and not from the regular tap? They actually fill from the bottom. I saw this a few years ago, and it is pretty crazy. So the idea here is you set a cup down on top of this dispenser, and it fills the cup up extremely fast, significantly faster, up to 9 times faster than a traditional pour with less head. Yes, insert joke here.
I'm watching YouTube videos now of this because
It's pretty-
you had that special cups for it.
Yes, you have to have
Okay.
special cups, and basically it's got this little magnetic circle.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It is really cool. And I remember the first time I saw it, I looked over, I was like, wait, did that just fill from the bottom? You know, and they hand you the cup, and you're kind of pressing on the bottom. You're like, oh, there's some sort of little medallion or whatever. And, of course, those are magnetic, and they are kind of keepsakes, too. After you're finished the beer, you could keep that, I suppose. Well, what I, of course, did the very first time was push on it, didn't move. After about halfway through the beer and in the middle of a conversation, not really paying attention. Are you showing this to the onesies, by the way? Okay, cool.
They can still see us.
About halfway through the beer, there's less liquid weight. I pushed up on the bottom of it, and that magnet released, and I just spilled about half of what was left in there down my leg and my pants.
Well,
So don't push too hard on the bottom of those little cups.
Well, they should have got you for the test. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like
right,
we
the
need
test
to have
market.
we need to have a person who can actually screw up everything, so we can make this a better product. And they'll get you in there and be like, just leave the monkey with the cup. He'll show us the faults.
Well, the history is really, really interesting. I don't know that we have enough
Is
time
it
to
litmus litmus test? Is that what they call that? Did it pass
go.
the?
Litmus test?
Is
Yeah.
that what that's kind of like the slang for that is?
I don't know that would be considered yeah, I guess you could say it's a litmus test. Yeah.
Yeah, because like Cindy Cochran's my litmus test for everything. Shout
I'm
out
not
to
sure.
Cindy.
I'm not sure I
love
know what
Cindy.
you mean by that, though.
Well, I mean, if I have something that I was like, I need to find some cracks, just give it to Cindy.
She'll find the cracks in
She'll
it.
find the cracks.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty interesting that the inventor has a long history. Maybe I'll put a
Drug
link.
abuse? Jesus.
Well, kind of. Kind of.
Of alcohol?
Man, again, it's kind of an interesting story. I don't know if we have time to cover it all, but the inspiration for the bottom up is what these are called, bottoms up, came during a time of immense chaos in this inventor whose last name is Springer in his life. He was living in Montesano, Washington, and blah, 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 blah. He was doing side jobs for his uncle, and they went to a restaurant and basically saw pitchers of beer being poured and brought out to their table for this party, and they said, man, we can come up with a better idea for this. Well, apparently there were people he was working with basically were into some nefarious things, drugs, and there was a raid on his house. And even though he wasn't necessarily involved directly with the drug raid, he got I guess, questioned, and there was some...
And he had a
I guess-
Twitter profile.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
found him. We found him.
He was questioned and released, and basically this was right before his wedding. But he had a lot of time on his hand, and he became obsessed with this thing and basically came up with a prototype in 5 days, which is pretty interesting. But I don't know. Like I said, it's a long story. I was trying to encapsulate it there.
I mean, it's interesting just because I wonder how efficient it adds to your bar. Because this is something unique to where you're an establishment. This isn't, I imagine, because you have to buy those magnet things.
Right. They got to be more expensive than just a regular cup, I would
So-
think. But if you're able to get more of the beer out of the container with less head, that's less waste.
Yeah.
And if you're in a really, really busy place, it fills up, like I said, up to 9 times faster. I think they said two
And it
ounces a second.
auto-leveled, if you saw that.
It knows exactly how much is coming out. It is cool. I think it's 2 ounces per second. You're serving customers faster. Maybe you make up for it there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you said you had never seen one of these before?
No. Now I
Okay.
want one.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. They are pretty awesome. Dick, how we doing on?
Pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome. How we doing on time, buddy?
We got to be closing it down, bro.
Really? Really? Do we?
Yeah, it's been 30 minutes.
Has it really? Man. Okay. Well,
That's
I
what
was
happens when you just.
You know what?
when
I'll
you just chat with me.
just chatting. Just
chatting with the audience of one.
Well, I've got some interesting stories about our thoughts on twins, and we'll talk about that next time. How does that sound?
Twins freak me out, and I have my best friends are twins.
Well, don't ruin it. This is next week's topic.
So it's an ongoing joke with them was like when you first meet them, you're like they're identical, and I always tell people I'm like no, they're like fine art. The more you stare at it, the more you'll understand the individual.
They're female,
and,
aren't they?
And you'll be able to see they're guys, and you'll be able to see their faults. And
Oh, I thought you were going to say, see their uniqueness and their beauty.
everyone has faults.
Mm.
So one has a little nub on the ear. You know which one? I call him Nubby. That's
Endearing. Quick hit here at the end of the show. Dick, do you know what sarsaparilla is?
Is that Sasquatch's wife?
Sarsaparilla kind of sounds like it would be.
I tried.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Have you never heard of sarsaparilla?
Is it a flower?
I mean, kind of. It's a drink, at least in this way that I'm describing it. Sarsaparilla is a drink. I'd always heard of it in like old westerns. I thought it was like basically like root
Do you
beer.
pour it from the side?
I think you're supposed to pour any drink that is carbonated from the side, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't say it was a carbonated drink.
Well, I mean, actually, I guess root beer may not have carbonation in it, right?
I don't
Root beer
know.
doesn't have carbonation. Now that I think about it.
I
Or
hope
no,
it does.
maybe it does. It doesn't have caffeine.
Who cares?
I don't know,
It's
but it's a
gross.
soft drink originally made from the vine Smilax
Okay, that sounds healthy.
on Toronto. I cannot pronounce
Anything
it.
has an X in it, I think of cleaning products.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a vine that's native to Mexico and Central America to make this. But I was just wondering if you'd ever even heard of sarsaparilla.
What's the uniqueness of this conversation?
I just because I was going to give you a little history on the drink, but
What kind of drink is it?
it's basically like a root beer.
Great.
It's
Definitely
commonly made with birch oil
definitely not having that.
and the tropical plant that I can't pronounce. Oh well, it came to the United
Well,
States
do
in the 19th century, and it was used for advertising. The advertisement was used for medicine. You know how they always did that, like cocaine and everything else for medicines
love
back in the
that.
day. Originally, sarsaparilla was a form of medicine in the United States.
Gross.
Yep, that's all we got time for, right? You're kicking me out. 30 minutes. We're done.
I guess.
All right, guys. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Hope
it flew by.
It did. It really did. It really, really did.
And one thing I want to know, let the onesies know, we definitely didn't follow the itinerary that Andrew draws up. So he's probably like, yeah.
I don't know what you mean. I thought we followed it beautifully.
This is a great show.
It was a great show.
And we want your ideas, audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. Email us and send us some crazy stories. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, as you
We
can tell, we
welcome
talk
them.
about anything.
We'll talk about anything. That's right.
So, well, enjoy the rest of your week. I got spring break. Is spring break different?
Right now, it's going on right
It's
now.
right now?
Yeah, for Texas, it's different in different parts of the,
Yeah.
of the world or country, I should say.
Interesting.
Up north, it's a little bit later because, it's not quite spring there yet, or it's not warm.
Interesting. Yeah.
So
Okay.
spring on, onesies, spring on.